ping pong tables are back, and the Bengals are preparing for the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapine here at Paycor Stadium, and yes, it is Bengals, it is Browns, it is a battle of Ohio that the Bengals, well, they've been on the wrong side of for the past 5 times, and make no mistake, a lot of people have brought that up this week, whether it's Joe Burrow, 3-0 against the Chiefs, 0-4 against the Browns. It's been an entire topic, so much so that when the Bengals, and spoiler, they do move their ping pong tables for game day, the ping pong tables were moved and they weren't put back on Wednesday. That became sort of a storyline. There is no story. They just weren't put back in time for the Wednesday session that was open to the media. They were back on Thursday. Joe Burrow was playing and Trent Taylor was playing, and really anyone that wanted to play ping pong could. So there, we ended that narrative of, oh man, the Bengals are taking this so serious, 0-5 against the Browns, that they got rid of the ping pong tables. Let's shut that down before it started. But the Bengals are getting a key piece of their offense back. Joe Mixon is going to play on Sunday. On Track Talk today, we posted the video right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk of him discussing the concussion, discussing how Samaje Perine played, talking about Zach Taylor naming him the starting running back, or just saying that he's going to stay the starting running back. And let's start there. There was no internal discussions about Mixon not being the starter, from what I've been told. Now, I do get it, because Samaje Perine is rolling, and he's playing at a really high level. And I was talking to someone about this, and they agreed. Can't say who, but what Perine brings you is stability. In this Bengals offense, they have so many explosive weapons. In Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst, and I'll give you an injury update on him in just a second. I'll do it right now. He's not expected to play this week. Has a calf injury. He's working through it. Is using a boot to try to get it back to, where he can play again. We'll see if he can go next week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But this Bengals team needs just reliability, stability at that running back position, because they have all of these explosive weapons. And that's what Perine has brought. He's a solid pass blocker. He's reliable. You know he's going to be where he's supposed to be. And this isn't me knocking Mixon on any of this, but it's what Perine brings. He's going to get you yards that aren't necessarily there. He's always going to fall forward. He's going to get you 8 yards on a screen. And it goes a long way in this offense, because if you have stability like that and reliability, well, then it just keeps the chains moving. It opens things up for all of the explosive star weapons. That said, this can totally work. A Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine tandem can work. And yeah, will Joe Mixon start? Sure, that's fine. I'll give you 12 million reasons why. Of course he'll start, regardless of anything else. It's, well, because they are paying him, and when you invest that much in someone, you're going to use him. But his last game, he had 5 touchdowns. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5. And if they had left him in, he might have gotten the NFL record for most touchdowns ever. It's not like we're talking about chopped liver here. It's not like we're talking about a guy that can't still play. And while he needs to show some more of that reliability, show that this offensive line can suit him and this power run game can suit him, I think it was trending in the right direction before he went down. And I thought against the Steelers, he was off to a good start before being diagnosed with that concussion. So Joe Mixon, still RB1, but I think Samaje Perine's going to get plenty of touches as well, plenty of snaps. In between the two, the Bengals have one heck of a 1-2 punch at running back. But really, outside of Hayden Hurst, who, like I said, not expected to play this week, Mitch Wilcox will get the start at tight end. Devin Asiasi will be his backup, and they'll promote a tight end from the practice squad. We'll see who they promote. But outside of that, there aren't many injuries. Drew Chrisman was activated or signed to the 53-man roster, which we knew was coming. Kevin Huber to the practice squad. Neither of those moves are something we've talked about here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, but we knew it was coming. Doesn't surprise us one bit. I'm sure it didn't surprise you. Certainly doesn't surprise me. And I do think it's cool that they kept Kevin Huber around. One, they've had a practice squad spot essentially for the most of the past year and a half, all of last year. For the majority of it, at least, Drew Chrisman was on the practice squad. Now, there were times where they moved on from him to open up a spot for someone else, and they would probably do that with Huber. But if you have the spot open, you weren't going to give it to anyone else anyways. You might as well have that punter there, that veteran, that guy that can help, one, Drew develop, two, who knows what happens, right? Who knows if Drew isn't feeling well, if something happens, if he gets dinged up. We saw what happened with Clark Harris. Cal Adamitis was just on the practice squad, boom, and you move him up. So they had a long snapper on their practice squad. I think it makes sense in this scenario. Not that it will always make sense for the rest of the year, but for right now, having Kevin Huber on the practice squad. Look, this is a big game, though, because the Bengals are 0-5 in their last 5 against the Browns. No, I don't count Week 18 last year, and I thought in 2020 Joe Burrow carried an inferior roster against the Browns and gave his team a shot to win. But the past 2 times that Burrow started against the Browns, this Bengals team has struggled. He had the pick 6 last year here at Paycor Stadium that kind of set the tone for an ugly blowout loss to the Browns. And then obviously the Monday night game was ugly too. The key and the thing that I've talked to multiple players in the locker room about, you get off to that quick start. Because if you get off to a quick start, not that the Browns are going to stop running the ball, but it really sets the tone. And the tone changes a lot if this Bengals offense is moving the ball. So it's a really good test for the tackles, specifically Jonah Williams. I thought he's played better in recent weeks. I know he's taken a lot of heat this season. He's played better in recent weeks. Can you hold up? You're not going to be perfect against Myles Garrett. That's silly. That's asking a corner to be perfect against Jamar Chase. We'll get to that in a second. But I think he can show, oh, hey, I am this franchise left tackle that you thought you were getting when you exercised that 5th-year option for 2023. So we'll see if Jonah Williams can show up and deliver. Jamar Chase, well, I know he's excited to face Denzel Ward. That's the matchup I'm most excited about to see this week. Certainly one that's going to be anticipated and discussed a ton. And look, this Bengals team, they can vault themselves into the number 1 seed conversation right now. Lamar Jackson dinged up. I don't think he's going to play against Pittsburgh, so that game probably a coin flip now. Baltimore could still win, no doubt, with Tyler Huntley, but we'll see. But you have a win over the Chiefs. You hold the tiebreaker. You still have the Bills on the schedule. You still have the Ravens on the schedule. You keep pace here, you're going to have a shot at that number 1 seed in the AFC, but you got to handle business against a team like Cleveland, even if they've won 5 straight. And a Bengals win over the Browns would also put Cleveland's chances of making a playoff run to bed. And look, I know Deshaun Watson played poorly last week. I think he'll play better this week. But, it's a crazy matchup. It's a big matchup. And tomorrow we're going to have our keys to victory. We're going to have our prediction. And, of course, we're going to be here on Sunday at Paycor Stadium where, Battle of Ohio. Bengals, Browns, huge, huge game for both teams as the Browns try to inch and claw and scratch their way back into the playoff race. The Bengals, they're trying to win 5 straight games for the first time in the Zach Taylor era, and they're trying to snap a 5-game losing streak to their division rival, Cleveland Browns. For more, make sure you check out allbengals.com, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and for Andrew Fox-Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.